Deb here with Simple Grower Homestead here in the Pacific Northwest. Just wanted to give you a garden update. Got some stuff growing on, and wanted to show you what's happening around here. So let's go. Here setting up the irrigation for these apple trees, so I don't have to water them every day by hand. And you guys, this is my Honeycrisp apple, and it is loaded, absolutely loaded with Honeycrisp apples. Still got to do some, done a little bit of culling or just pruning. I mean, here's a really good example of way too many apples on this. And what I'll do is, see, that little one just kind of fell right off. But I'll take these apples. This is hard to do, let me tell you. I'll take the smallest ones off and leave it to where there's just three, really three at the most, apples in a cluster. See this little guy here? Yeah, that doesn't need to, in fact it already detached itself, it probably didn't get pollinated. Like here, this one didn't get pollinated, so it'll drop. So there's three there, two there, two there, three there, feels like four here, so I should get rid of that. Anyway, this Honeycrisp apple is absolutely loaded with beautiful apples that I'll harvest in September. It's really doing well. I paid a lot of attention to it last year and last fall especially, and over the winter I took good care of it, pruned it. I know I didn't do the best job at pruning, but at least I got some of it out. And yeah, I think it looks pretty darn good. And then I think this is a Macintosh. I'm not really sure. I don't know. When the apples mature, they're kind of a yellow red color. You know, they an average taste. Yeah, but this is loaded too, guys, so these are just 2 of my 5 apple trees on the property, so I think I'm going to be doing pretty good in the apple department this year. Well, I am every year, but this year especially, and these Honeycrisp. Oh, yeah. My friends and family love these. I love to eat them, and they taste so good, you know. You can just make such good recipes out of them. And, you know, if you like apple butter or you like cider, yeah. It's a really good addition to those. I actually like to combine all my apples, like this apple, this question mark Macintosh apple. I have an apple tree over there that just produces little apples, so I don't know, maybe a crab apple or a, I mean, it tastes good, it's just really a tiny apple, like you can't like bite into it, but it's really good to mash it up. So yeah, so you know, I combined the apples and it makes for a pretty good cider. I'm still a novice at cider making, so I look forward to you know, doing better at that. Ha ha ha, you guys, look at this. They're not quite all the way right. Some of them are. Give them a taste here. I got a few different varieties of blueberries. And they all taste different. Look at the size of this one. Usually big ones don't have a lot of flavor. Whatever this blue one is, or this big blue one is, I don't know the varieties. It is really tasty and just delicious. Anyway, I'm going to give some of these to little Riff, see how he likes them. Riffy looks tired and sleepy. I'm going to try some of these. Oh yeah. You like blueberries. Oh, what was wrong with that one? Did you get excited? Oh, yeah, look at it. Good. Get the ones that the birds got to. Goodness sakes. Ow. You're getting your teeth in, that's for sure. Woo! He's getting his teeth in, y'all. For sure. And he really likes blueberries, so he's trying to get my fingers and everything. Yeah, those are good, huh? Oh yeah. Blueberries are a hit with Riff. Yep. That's it. You ate a whole handful. That's it, buddy. I'll get you some more later. Goodness sakes. Yeah. That'll put some weight on you, huh? Yeah, I'm taking you out here to the 2 cherry trees that I have. This one is Rainier cherry tree, y'all. It's got some cherries on it that are ready. Let's see if I can grab one of these branches here. Bring it down. Oh yeah. Let's grab this little guy. Oh yeah, look at that. See how it tastes. Mmm. Delicious. Rainier cherries are my favorite. A couple of outgrowings here. Get off of there. Mmm. This is my regular Bing cherry. Sweet cherries. These get super red. Not quite ready. That's about the color of a Rainier cherry yet. But I gotta be quick with these guys on account of the birds love them. And as soon as they get ripe, the birds are in these trees getting them. So I just keep a ladder out here when they're getting close and run up the ladder. Get what I can. Yep. What you doing, Riff? Hi. That good? Thanks for eating my weeds. That's swell of you. Yeah. Enough away from you. He likes eating moss. Silly boy. Alright, let's start this thing. So this is going into my garden, of course. And on either side, I have pole beans that are just starting to grow up. And over this cattle panel trellis. It's really pretty. I have a shot of it from last year. I'll try to remember to stick it in here. Show you how full it was last year. It was just gorgeous. So then we come in through that. And then let's see, I guess I'll go clockwise here. And there's the back side of the pole beans. My basil is just starting to get warm enough to where it's starting to grow a little bit. This is my Napa Chardonnay cherry tomato. just starting to get, look you guys, look at this set here. Just starting to get tomatoes on it. Now, I live in the Pacific Northwest, and it's been a wacky start to the summer here. It's 4th of July weekend, and you see the sky. I mean, great for fireworks and all, but yeah, and it's not too hot. I guess that's cool, because it's really, I mean, the temperature's like 70-ish, 75 degrees, so I guess I'm cool with that. And then this is a sunflower, you guys. It's like Jack and the Beanstalk here. I mean, look how thick that thing is at the base. It's just nuts how thick this is. But yeah, so this thing is taller than I am, and I'm 5'6", and no flower yet, but it's going to be huge when it's done. And this, let me show you the back side of my tomatoes here. I have them growing up on this trellis, single stem tomato plants. So I go in here and see right here, that's a sucker. I go ahead and whack those off. That way these tomatoes are just growing on a single stem up the trellis, and you get bigger fruit harvests out of it. Let's see another one. I'm going to grab that in there. You stay on top of them, your fruit. The production isn't that much smaller, you know. And the fruit, the quality of it and the size of it is just so much better when you do it like this. And so I got a lot of different, I got a Soldaki, an Early Girl, a Big Boy, which is a hybrid, Abe Lincoln, which is 1923, which is a heirloom from Baker Creek, Lemon Boy, another hybrid, and then, what are you? Oh, that's my Rosa de Bern. Yes. James Prigioni grows that. I can't wait to taste it. Okay. And he grows these Soldakis too, which, look at this, you guys. Look at the blooms on this. It's just huge. They're beautiful. And looks like we're starting to set some fruit here. Yeah. And here we have my Shimmer Hybrid. It's a, you know, cherry tomato variety, but the tomatoes on it are larger than a cherry tomato, and they're delicious. And I always tell people, obviously this is a hybrid. The seeds, I get them from Burpee. And yeah, I mean, if you grow this, which I suggest you do because it's a high producer and the fruit on it is super sweet, go ahead and make some salsa out of that. And I have a friend who makes salsa out of these shimmers, and she said you will never make salsa out of any other tomato again as long as you live. And she should know. She should know. Anyway, there's some fruit on this shimmer somewhere. I saw it. Anyway, this is a massive producer. I grow this every year. It's ridiculous how much it puts out. I love it. You guys, I just have beds and beds of food. Look at all this. So down here, this is the front of my tomato bed. I've got all this beautiful basil that's growing, and now that it's starting to warm up, it's really starting to take off. But right here in the front, my very favorite roasting red pepper is growing, and that's the Ajvarsky. And look, they're really doing great now. They started heating up here in the Pacific Northwest. So I should be getting a really good harvest out of those. And then at the very front here is just a line of onions that are really doing great too. Okay, let's move on. Oh, look at this bed. This is just a bed that is just slap full of food. This thing is growing so much food right now. It's also growing a sunflower, which is feeding the birds, which I love. But look at all this kale, you guys. All this kale. Beautiful, beautiful kale. The scarlet kale, I think it's called. Just a beautiful color. And then look how red this 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 chard is doing so good, and it tastes delicious. Then over here I had to knock back some of these cauliflowers because these obviously are going to seed, and I'm going to go ahead and let them go to seed and see if I can actually get some seeds out of it, since I'm out of cauliflower seeds this time, because I had a hard time growing it this year. I don't know why, but whatever. It grew finally, and I think it's just too much rain. And here's another massive, look at the stalk on that guy. Another massive sunflower, but this one here is actually starting to put out a flower. It's just going to be massive when it finally does. And then I've got some beautiful kohlrabi down here, if you guys can see that. That's a nice bowl of kohlrabi there. And I'll be harvesting that soon, putting it in a salad. Okay, so in this bed, back you up here, because I have to back up because it's massive. This is one of the new beds I built this year. And it's growing yellow squash and zucchini. And, well, I'd say it's doing pretty good. Look at that, you guys. I can probably harvest that zucchini today or tomorrow. You don't want to turn your back on them, because suddenly you'll have zucchini the size of a baby. But these yellow squash, I went in here and pollinated some of these. Hand pollinated. Get this out of here. And well, that actually might have been pollinated, but it's getting chewed on by a bug. Probably a slug. But yeah, here's the second zucchini. Really starting to produce. You have the drip system down. Got quite a bit of water. I'll probably put the hose on it just to give her a boost there. And then these are my second set of tomato plants that I put in. Let's try to back up here. Same idea, raised bed, growing them on a single stem. This time I didn't put any metal conduit up there, just because I didn't want to go buy it. I mean, it's not expensive at all, like 10 bucks, but you know, these days 10 bucks is 10 bucks. But I did have an extra piece of wood and these 2x4s that I was using for something else, so I just did my trellising that way. And then of course tied some ropes up there that when these guys grow to the very top, which I'm hoping they do, I'll be able to release the string and kind of just let them bend down. That'll give them a little more room to grow and give me the ability to harvest them when they get nice and big. And I have even more tomatoes crammed into this one. All the other varieties that I just showed you that I have over there, the Rosa de Bern, the Lemon Boy, the Abe Lincoln, the Big Boy, Early Girl, and this is the Soldaki. On the end here is an addition though. It's Ananas Noir, Ananasnoir. I bought it from the greenhouse at work, and I kind of bought it on accident. I meant to buy an F1 hybrid, but I got this one by accident. I guess I picked up the wrong one. But you know, I look at this on the internet, and it looks like a fabulous tomato. It's an heirloom, and I mean, the reviews on it are that it's great tasting, and to see it sliced open is just beautiful. And right now it's putting out just massive amounts of blooms. So between that and that Soldaki, I think they're going to be competing for space here. Anyway, same idea that I have in that other bed. I've just got a bunch of basil here. This bed was put in 2 weeks later than the tomato bed over there. So clearly those tomatoes over there and the basil and the onions are, oh, except for the onions. I put the onions in before, but no, I didn't. Anyway, so obviously that's about 2 weeks ahead of this bed. And I mean, you can tell those tomatoes over there are a little taller. These are not as tall, not quite as bushy. But this is good because if I have a long next season, then we'll, you know, I'll have tomatoes for through the whole season. And then speaking of that succession gardening, here are my cucumbers, which in my opinion can't come on soon enough because my chickens eat a cucumber a day. And I tell you what, I'm tired of going to the grocery store and buying them. Get them pretty inexpensive at grocery outlet though. And then here are the second planting of the straight 8 cucumbers. Most of these are straight 8 in here, cucumbers. Look at that. Some of these, one of these is a slicer I bought at the farmer's market. It didn't have a variety name, it just said slicer. So I imagine it's going to be a big green one. And then a couple of these here on the end are a burpless variety. So we'll see how those go, see how much my chickens like those. This is my melon bed, and it's doing pretty darn fabulously, especially, so these are the honeydews here. I really wanted those to grow. You guys, if you haven't tasted a honeydew melon from a home garden, then you need to, because they are nothing like the stuff you get in the grocery store. Last year a friend of mine said, hey, you want to taste a honeydew out of my garden? I'm like, no, I friggin' hate honeydew. And she goes, well, you won't hate this. And then it looked just like a honeydew. She sliced it open, looked like a honeydew, but I tasted it and I fell in love. It was so sweet. So I have 2 varieties here, the Golden Honeymoon. They're both doing well, so they're just now starting to put out some flowers, you guys, so I might be getting some fruit set here soon. And over here are my cantaloupes, and look at those, you guys. They're awesome. I'm so excited I can't even hardly stand it. But look, got a blossom on one of my cantaloupe already. So I'm just going to let these sprawl, and you know, they have a lot of room here in the back of my garden area. All this is deer fencing, so they have a lot of room to sprawl out, and so that's what I want them to do, just do their own thing. This is my first year growing them, and I just want to see what they do, and yeah, I'm super excited. I do have one cantaloupe down here too, because I got it at a farmer's market of some sort. But these down here are watermelon. This is a free seed from Baker Seeds, and this is a Missouri yellow watermelon. I grew it 2 years ago, and I got 1 ripe watermelon off of it, and it was delicious. So, you know, it's still little. Hopefully it'll come along. You know, it's going to be a race for time, really. Pacific Northwest, you know, it's been a weird start. I don't know, if it stays hot through September, I think we'll be okay, and I'll get some good watermelon. This one here is just a straight up red watermelon, heirloom black diamond. Yeah, everything's good. And then here's one of my paste tomatoes, sauce tomato. Which one is this? This is a Salvaterra's Select. And it's starting to set fruit down there in the middle. Trying to keep the middle kind of cleaned out so it has good ventilation. And here is my second planting of kohlrabi. It's doing all right. Probably harvest that soon so the leaves are shading out. This is a bed of Veggies. These peppers were put in probably 3 weeks after the ones over yonder. And they're not doing as well, but they're also competing with the kohlrabi. I don't know, they had a difficult start because after I planted them it got cold and it started raining and they kind of got stunted. So it was hard to really gauge stuff this year because it was a weird spring for us in the Pacific Northwest, very cold. Still kind of cold, but I'm not going to complain because it's not hot. So, but yeah, look at those. Those are beautiful flowers that I put in. Forgot what they're called. Some common flower. Another nice sunflower. Look at that, how it's just kind of a bursting sunflower seed or sunflower. It's going to be beautiful when it goes to maturity. And here, you guys, let me back up because this is pretty cool. My tomatillo. So, get in here. Look at this. I'm going to have a bunch of tomatillos. Get this out of here. That, my friends, is a radish. It's a little bit past its prime, I'd say. This is the radish mix that I planted this year. I need to take this in so it doesn't fade because I loved it. I love these white and yellow radishes. They were delicious. This whole situation with these radishes was super good, so I'm excited about that. Get this radish out too. Look at that. Look at the size of that radish, you guys. How stupid. I'm not going to eat that, of course. I'll give it to my chickens. They probably won't like it, but because they're pretty spoiled. You know, they get all kinds of good food and put something like that in front of them. They're like, yeah, turn their nose up, or excuse me, their beak up at it. But yeah, I can't eat that. It's going to be super woody. And I need to put some mulch down here. Notice I put, they're just pine shavings that I use in my chicken coop. And it really does help to keep the moisture in those beds, these raised beds. And then here's my other paste tomato. This should be the alpaca. Yep, alpaca. And I can even get a cage on this little guy. I don't think he's putting out any fruit yet. That's okay though. I'm okay with these paste tomatoes. They come on a little bit later than the other ones, and yeah, it's a canning frenzy, let me tell you, when it comes fall time. There's the back side of this other side of the trellis. I have a jalapeno that's been struggling, so we'll see. More basil and then some flowers to bring in the pollinators. And yep, these beans are starting to put on some blossoms, and so I expect we'll get some beans soon. And then this was my garden bed. I mean my garlic bed. I still have some elephant garlic in there that I'm going to harvest here, probably today. And then on the right side here, Sugar Rush Peach. They're doing super well. They're very high producers and a delicious, just an absolutely delicious pepper. It's a little hot, but it seriously does taste like a peach. It has a peachy flavor to it. And this is my cayenne. A little blossom drop there. But we have blossoms. Look, I volunteered. I guess this is a, oh yeah it is. Look. Grab that and munch on it. That was a volunteer. That's another cayenne back there, and then my little struggling habaneros. It's hard to grow habaneros here for some reason. But I have a hard time. Tasty. Pretty good. Okay, well, you guys, that's the tour. Got all kinds of food growing around here. So, I do hope that you guys are having a great day. And until the next time, this is Deb with Simple Grower. Turn you around here. Peace out. Everybody have a great day. I want to wish everybody a happy Independence Day. Be safe and have a great time. God bless.